I think there was an apology
Mhm.
that came out from Pine as well. So I'm going to bring that up on my screen as well, because I don't remember the entire thing. I was reading it before. But it felt quite, combative rather than it's not a apology to the community. It's more of a response to what Martigan said.
What was the title of that post? Just so I
A
can bring it up.
response to Martigan's blog.
Okay, cool. Just so I can bring it up on my side. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I found it.
Yeah. And so it's, there's a few things that they went through, like we were convinced to flash the, SPI with Talbot on the most recent batch of, the PinePhone Pro, that kind of thing. They were pressured eventually into doing certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually the Pinebook Pro just didn't ship with anything on the SPI due to all of that.
Uh-huh.
And Martigan obviously, fed up with the whole situation, wanted to, just leave, get that stress off, which is fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's doing some audio hardware stuff now. I met up with him at FOSDEM this year. He's doing some really cool audio stuff.
Mm-hmm. If I understand correctly, he was a post-market OS guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So he was doing a lot of the camera stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He made Megapixels.
Hmm?
Megapixels. So Megapixels is the camera program that ran on the original PinePhone Pro, and then I believe Purism forked it to make Millipixels.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So it's an important piece of the story,
Right.
So
right.
Post-market OS had the camera stack. The Mobian had the, I think, parts of the modem, and then Ubuntu Touch other parts of the modem, all of that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was missing.
Okay, so
and yeah.
What happened with this situation then? Where did you want to go from here?
So I wanted to basically talk a little bit about, the importance of the community editions, because a lot of people have, asked when are they coming back, and even the Drew DeVault post. So that's a response to Pine64's response.
The response to the response to the response, I guess.
Yeah. And since nobody actually apologized, may I just point out, interestingly, I don't think that this response to Martigan's blog, so by Pine, on the Pine blog, was actually written by my mate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that wasn't him. I had this discussion last year that it wasn't actually Marek, Gamey. That wasn't him who wrote it.
Uh-huh.
That was something that I found interesting, and I'm not going to go much into that, but my mate didn't write that.
So, I understand if you don't want to go into it, but basically what you're saying is there was a corporate response made through the community manager's name.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not happy about that, but I'm not going to go into that too much.
Mm-hmm.
But so I want to talk about the community editions now, and why Pines. We've already gone into why Pine Store chooses to fund projects over individuals, but you've also gone into why it's a challenge. It's because you need an organization to put all of this money under. So I've got an example, right? With the PinePhone community editions, you you needed an organization to send to, but you also lose money from that because of tax reasons. So you don't actually get the full amount. all of that kind of thing. So that's really frustrating. You can't just drop it into someone's PayPal account. I wish you could, but like,
Well, yeah,
it's got to be official. It's donations and all that.
I'm not going to encourage tax evasion.
Neither am I, but you got to do it the official way.
Mm-hmm.
And, that annoys people that, you don't get the full amount anymore.
Right.
And with the Pine note, how far do you go back? Mm-hmm. Like, you've got a project who has got like a couple of individuals on it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, this is just an individual's project. So HRDL's Arch Linux firmware. Mm-hmm. They did a lot of the display driver and all of that, kernel optimization and all of that kind of thing. So they made it actually usable. Mm-hmm. But then Maximilian made the like factory firmware. So he's gone off. He's doing live stuff now, but he did a lot of work too to actually get the second Pine Note batch to to the masses, mm-hmm. to actually sell again. And if you want to then you've got like a usable thing, because the Arch Linux image is using Sway and all of that, a custom Sway like interface and all that config and all of that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Then you've got Quill, which is like a nice to use interface, easy to use, all set up. That is something that Pine would want to do, right? Because it's got everything set up, but it's lying on all of the people's hard work. And then you even go back even further, the developer editions before any of the like community edition Pine Note batches, all of that work, all of that bring up work. So how far do you actually go back on who to send the money to? And when it's done by a bunch of individuals, all of that work, this is like, going back to Manjaro, this is a bunch of people's work. Mm-hmm. If like Quill OS people did a bunch of work, like they've done a lot of work, but so have the people who've done the bring up and the bring up before that, mm-hmm. and the people who actually got the device to manufacturing again. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, how do you do that?
Right. So you're trying to think of like, how do you actually support the people who did the work when it was something put together by a ton of different volunteers across a bunch of different projects, and nobody's really keeping track of that. Like, obviously there's the Git history, but nobody's keeping track of, okay, this person did this specific thing, this person did this specific thing. You sort of have to, if you wanted to go back and compensate people for the work they've done in the past, you would need to sort of reverse engineer that from the very few artifacts that do exist, and then how you decide what each of those changes is actually worth. There's like no real good way to sort of do that compensation as like a retrospective thing.
Yeah, it's actually horrible. It's the worst thing ever. Like it's easier when there's a project behind it. All of the people that worked on the device mm-hmm. are in one place. Okay, there's an organization, you can send that money. That never happens. Right. Because there's so many people, they're just working on their own, and then they just happen to benefit everyone else. How do you get that person that money?
Yeah, and you talked quite a bit about like Quill OS and Mobian and Ubuntu Touch. There are going to be these random little projects that are unaffiliated with any of these projects that is used by all of them. If we want to talk about the desktop space, right, talk about something like Open Printing. Open Printing isn't associated with any individual project, but is used by all of them. So there are going to be these components sort of outside of all of that as well.